Welcome back to Beauty Within. It's your hosts,
Felicia
and Rowena. To kick off the new year, it's not that new anymore, but it's still quite new. We're still in January. We looked into articles aplenty, racked our brains, and gathered all the information we think are going to be game changers in the skincare world this year.
So we have 10 upcoming trends that we think are going to shake the skincare world. And they're already...
Gently.
Yes, gently. Certainly on the skin.
Yeah.
Starting off with skin and gut microbiome. This is a particularly interesting one that I'm like really drawn to because you know, the more and more we find out about our bodies, how it's all interconnected with our skin and mind and everything, it starts to all make sense why. Like how skincare on the top can really affect us, you know, inside.
For a quick refresher, what is a microbiome?
What is that? Okay, so we have two main systems, the gut and the skin, both of which contain their own ecosystem of living organisms, including good and bad bacteria and fungi, viruses, and all that good stuff.
Yes. This protective veil on the outer layer of our skin, which is also lining our gut, is called the microbiome.
So when it's healthy and balanced, our skin will feel healthy and balanced, as well as the gut, the body, the skin, mind, and all. So to understand the microbiome system a little bit more, it comes down to three main things. First is prebiotics. So prebiotics are what allows the probiotics to thrive. And probiotics are basically the bacteria that is in our gut and our skin. And then there's postbiotics, which is what happens when the microbes' chemistry is released after it perishes into an abyss.
Or dies.
Or dies.
Bye! Specifically in skincare, quoting Paula's Choice website, when your skin's microbiome is in balance, it helps offset factors that can negatively influence skin, which may lead to redness, dryness, and weakened surface that more quickly shows signs of aging from environmental attacks. So it's important to apply good probiotics to our skin along with prebiotics, and it just basically protects our skin and forms that first line of defense.
And just some examples of where you'll see this.
Because they started popping up last year.
Yeah, very recently. Dr. Jot has the Vital Hydro Solution Biome Water Cream. And then there's also Renee Relayed, the Rapid Response Detox Toner.
There's also the Bossia's Resurfacing Treatment Toner with apple cider vinegar.
Because apple cider vinegar is one of those naturally occurring chemical exfoliants. And when you drink it, you know why they say like mix it with water? Is because it helps with the microbiome system inside the body. And then there's also the Inky List Multibiotic Moisturizer.
Beyond just skincare products, you can now find a lot of prebiotics, probiotics in powder form to just eat.
And they're actually kind of fun to eat.
They are.
It's like those candy things you used to have as a kid.
The pixie sticks.
Yeah. It's kind of like, but actually healthy.
Yeah. We're actually going to dive deep into the skin and gut axis in next week's video with Mandy, so keep an eye out for that if you were just as excited as us over how cool the human body is. Next, it's microencapsulation. The future of skincare begins now. So last year, we talked a good amount about products that have microencapsulations. Last year was new, and I think this year is just gonna
blow up. Like it wasn't a widely marketed form of delivery system, I guess.
So how does encapsulation work? They basically work like a shuttle and gently delivers active ingredients like retinol, vitamin C, niacinamide, and even glycolic acid to our skin. These actives are surrounded or encapsulated in a protein polysaccharide-based shell. Once applied, the shell or capsule will disintegrate or fade or burst, allowing the active to be released onto your skin.
It's kind of like those drinks, it's not boba, it's like the bursting bubbles. That you can also get as a topping at Pinkberry.
This excerpt is from Delivery System Handbook for Personal Care and Cosmetic Products.
So what this excerpt is basically saying is that the higher the active ingredient, you know, the more potent it gets, the more reactive it can be in its environment. Like we talk about vitamin C, even glycolic acid, all of these can be affected by heat and light and air. What microencapsulation does is basically encapsulate that
it in a
specific
bubble.
ingredient. So it's just like floating around until it needs to be used, and then it will slowly release.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of products that we'll talk about a little later, but we even talked to Chemist Confessions, who was previously a formulator for one of these big skincare beauty brands. In an off-the-record conversation that we had, like, does microencapsulation or encapsulation work? And she said yes, because it all comes down to the formulation and the delivery to the skin to actually gain the effects of certain key ingredients.
And I think the best example for being able to physically see something like this is in Skin Ink, the supplement bar serum. You basically fill out a questionnaire of your skin type, skin concerns, and then they'll give you the different colors based off of different.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so cute.
I think the pink is vitamin A, and then like the hydration is like this light blue color or a dark blue, and then they'll give you 3 that you pour in together and you shake it up.
Yeah. For some microencapsulation, you don't even know it's encapsulated.
Yeah.
It's so small and so like microscopic or whatever.
So the smaller ones that you can't really feel is like the Glow Recipe Avocado Retinol Sleeping Mask. It's really nice. Like I wake up, the skin around my eyes are like, I'm alive! And all the wrinkles are like,
yeah.
I'm not there anymore.
And then there's also the Bliss Incredipeel pads, which is that glycolic acid peel that has 10% glycolic acid. It's very effective for brightening and smoothing out the skin, but because it's 10%, it can also be quite irritating. So the fact that they put it in a microencapsulated delivery system helped to release it over time, which meant that you could still get 10% while protecting sensitive skin.
And there's also the CeraVe Skin Renewing Retinol Serum.
Retinol is also another quite irritating and drying ingredient if used at high percentages. So this one is another like slow delivery through serum. Good on you, CeraVe. So next one is multitasking skincare or skip care,
which is basically the antithesis of the 10-step K-beauty rituals. Or there's also a term from Harper's Bazaar, skinimalist.
Skinimalist.
Skinimalist. It's like skin
I
animal,
like that.
skin animal. I don't know, it sounds a little crazy for me.
Skinimalist. Was it like beginning of last year, maybe even 2018, that was when like 10-step skincare was in
Like
full...
16, 17, because glass skin was
just-
17.
That was rampant for a really long time. So I think like now we're moving into taking it back, stripping it back to something very streamlined.
Yes. Beauty brands are creating ways to make our routine as quick and easy as possible, meaning they formulate products that lets us combine and replace steps. We're talking about essence toners, exfoliating cleansers, and all-in-one concentrates, just to name a few.
And while these aren't new in the skincare world, prepare to see a lot more of these products this year, because multi-step products is just like one product that does a lot of things.
Yes.
So it's also going to decrease the clutter in your bathroom and room.
And they'll also help you save time and money, because we know how exhausting and expensive regimes in skincare can get.
Some of the products that we've experienced or we've tried is the Ven All-in-One Concentrate. So this one is packed with a lot of ingredients. The texture is quite lightweight. It's like a lightweight lotion, moisturizer. It really did strip down the time.
Yeah.
You know, days that you're just tired or whatever and you don't want to think about like, you just do once and you're like, okay,
Done.
yeah.
So for me, this year, I feel like looking back on 2019, Laneige, the cream skin, was like, when I read about it. It's you're taking a moisturizer and turning it into a toner consistency.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was really...
So you can use this Essence Serum Toner as your moisturizer. You can use it. I can. I need an emollient to seal all that in, but I think you can get away with just using it
Yes,
on
for
its
sure.
own.
And I don't think you'll even understand how this works until you feel it on the skin. It
Yeah.
transforms the consistency.
Yeah.
It's like water, and then it's like, it starts getting a bit more like
Sticky, not sticky, but like tacky.
moisturizery.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on?
Yeah. And there's also the Seora's Time is Running Out Mist, which is one of my favorites. You have oil and toner, so you can use it as, you know, I've actually been using it as my last step in the wintertime to give me that like oil at the very, very end, and it's great.
I mean, the good thing about mist is that you can just mist on at any step of the routine, wherever you are, whatever time it is. So we'll also leave the videos where we've talked more extensively about these products below, so you guys can check that out.
Next Next is customized skincare.
Who doesn't love a good customization
Yeah.
routine, right? One brand that comes to mind when you say customizing or customizing the formulation is Curology, because there's so many different ingredients that are claimed to help with acne. We just don't know what to go for first. So when you have like actual, industry experts like dermatologists behind it helping you formulate these things, it just takes the confusion and the stress out of needing to pick it yourself.
So what's interesting is that with customization, there's two routes. One can be customization by a human, so a dermatologist, a specialist, someone who knows how to treat and identify. Yes, and there's AI. So data, machine learning, you go on a website, you can fill out a form of this is what my lifestyle is, this is what my skin concerns are, and then they'll give something to you.
I think with the AI, what it would output is still quite general. Because it
It's
can't
very general.
know you,
Yeah.
right?
You know what I think about AI is there's different buckets. Like if a person selects a few things, it's just, they all drop down.
It's like those
the
graphs.
marble board, yeah, and then it's gonna drop into one of like the 5 or one of the 10 options. So it's as much as it is customized, I don't think it's like so tailored to you customized.
So even though that makes it easier, I think also one of the better things to do is power back to yourself.
Yes.
To know how to customize yourself.
Yes. Next is minerals and electrolytes. Until recently, skincare brands mostly focused on vitamins. A, B, C, E are the most popular ones. And while vitamins will continue being as popular as ever, it's also the year for more minerals and electrolytes to shine.
Okay, so when we talk about minerals, we're referring to things like zinc, sulfur, selenium, which will become even more mainstream because you hear about these more as an internal supplement most of the times, but you're gonna see them more in our skincare.
Zinc is known for its healing and antioxidant properties and sebum regulation. Sulfur helps with acne, decongestive pores, and anti-aging. And selenium is great for its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-aging properties.
If you're in the acne field, you'll know zinc and sulfur are really great. Serums, moisturizers, sprays, you'll see zinc and sulfur spread out through all.
And for electrolytes, they're essential minerals that emit a charge when mixed with liquid, so Gatorade or Pocari Sweat. They are naturally found in our bodies and play a part in tissue repair, pH balance, and other bodily functions. More importantly, they replenish hydration and lock in moisture, making it a great ingredient for dehydrated skin in desperado need of some TLC.
Some examples of electrolytes are magnesium, potassium, calcium. Magnesium helps to improve hydration and our skin barrier. It enhances skin's natural shedding process and generates adenosine triphosphate to energize the cells.
So what this means is it's great for the body.
Correct. And for the skin.
Yes.
Potassium helps facilitate water pathways and reinforces the skin barrier again. And when we talk about clear, strong, healthy, youthful skin, we're talking about the skin barrier.
And calcium is a humectant and influences how new cells are formed and how they move from each layer of the skin. So all of these are just great for the skin barrier.
Yeah. So some of the products that you'll see that are already out capitalizing on this, Drunk Elephant has come out with an electrolyte water facial mask. And then Paula's Choice has the water infusing electrolyte moisturizer. Anything with electrolyte in it, I just feel like charged with water, like Charizard.
For magnesium, there's Ren's Evercalm Overnight Recovery Balm.
Oh,
You
it's
have used it.
very thick.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't recommend using that over the entire face because it's like intense recovery.
It's a balm.
And then another new one is the Glow Recipe Banana Souffle Moisturizer.
I just used it this morning and oh my goodness, it's so amazing.
Just like glides over the face. I love that they called it a souffle.
Yeah, banana souffle mask.
Yeah.
And it's really good for stressed skin, really good for dehydrated skin. And there's also the ordinary magnesium ascorbyl phosphate. Next is gentle, less aggressive skincare. This concept really isn't new, and if you've been following us from the beginning, you know we've been shifting further away from super potent and potentially aggressive actives to more soothing, calming, and hydrating ingredients. Basically, skin barrier friendly ingredients.
I think the Korean skincare trends are always based in calming, soothing. Even Japanese, they don't have anything like glycolic acids and all that stuff. Because when we talked to Urioi, they were like, yes, all about hyaluronic acid because
Hydrate things.
yes, because your skin already naturally pushes out skin.
Yeah.
It exfoliates itself. It's a very naturally occurring thing. So you just want to
Trust
facilitate
yourself
it.
and just facilitate, yeah. So with Centella asiatica or Cica, there's a plethora of them now.
Yes.
There's Dr. Jart, there's Purito, it's everywhere. For mugwort, there's the I'm From mask. And there's the whole line, mugwort line. And for honey, I'm From also has a really great honey line. And for rice, they also have a really good line for rice. So I think I'm From they know the soothing ingredients.
Yeah, these soothing ingredients actually all come from more of the Korean industry.
And we'll definitely continue to keep talking about all of these things. And I think these ingredients will just be pushed further and further up front.
Because they're just good all year round.
Yeah.
It's good for skin health long term.
And for healthy, happy skin barrier, there's things like Crave Beauty, Great Barrier Relief.
So then you might see, because you know, we start consuming more on our phones, on our computers. So there's anti-pollution, anti-blue light skincare.
So all the articles that we read have actually stated that because of the rise of pollution, of all these environmental stressors, anti-pollution skincare is like the next thing. So the first most important thing and the most damaging is sun, and the second is pollution. So it's gonna be sunscreen and anti-pollution.
Which is great, because you know what that is? That's all your vitamins. They're all the strongest antioxidants, because when you talk about pollution and UV and everything, you're talking about like using vitamin A, B, C to really help with it. The Paula's Choice Powderberry Serum, boom. All the
All your
antioxidants you would
there.
ever need.
Yeah.
Squirt a bit in your mouth because it's all berries. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably can't. No, don't do it. Do not do it. And Cica, Centella asiatica, actually became popular in Korea because they're fighting the yellow dust.
In terms of products, Osea has an atmosphere protection cream.
For Paula's Choice, the whole defense line is great for anti-pollution. I love the pore purifier.
Oh yeah,
and they came out with the algae one.
And then Ren has a flash defense anti-pollution mist. So I guess you can just pop that in your bag and Next is, I think we'll start seeing more attention on lip and scalp care. Sometimes we neglect our poor little lips, which are also skin.
Our lips are just as thin as our under eyes, so if we're, using creams and taking care of our eyes, we should also be doing the same with our lips.
And the scalp is an extension of your face.
When I realized that our scalp can have scalp types, like face type, like dry dehydrated combo, it makes total sense, but when I realized, I was like, oh my god.
It's all connected.
Yeah, and here's something fun. Drunk Elephant is actually launching a hair care line this year.
Oh snap.
Oh snap.
I think with that, it's just caring for the whole self.
All of your skins. And your body too. And this year, I feel like with clean beauty, we'll see a lot more regulation, or like there'll be a more clear definition of what clean is.
So if you've looked into clean beauty, you'll know that there are many definitions of it, because it does actually just come down to how the brand wants to describe or position themselves.
Or market themselves.
Yeah, and with the whole rise of clean beauty, there was a lot of greenwashing, so it's like, how can you use that? It's not clean, or whatever it is, but there's so much gray area. So for us, why we don't talk about it as much is because there's a lot of loopholes in it. Personally, I just really like brands that don't even state that they're clean or whatever, but they just inherently are. Like Summer Fridays or even Purito, Ordinary, they're all just what you see is what you get, and they don't market themselves as like,
But then as an industry, I think the time is due for there to be more regulation, because some brands are for sure digging into that loophole.
So very closely connected with skincare and body is mental health. Who feels stressed? Who feels anxious? Who is tired and fatigued?
But don't worry, you're not alone. We're all feeling the same things. Sometimes we're good at dealing with stress. Other times we're not the best at dealing with stress. So when we're really stressed, our diets tend to go out the window, our sleep schedule tends to go out the window, everything tends to go out the window. And when all of that happens, when all of that adds up, it can lead to outward concerns.
Inflammation.
Like pimples and like acne. But I think this specific year, we're all collectively realizing more and more of how connected our mind, body, spirit, how like yeah, how connected
It all
everything
works
is.
together. I think there's things in your daily life that really help to re-energize you. Daily activities for me in the morning, writing down like everything that needs to be done. At the end of the day, take like time, meditate, make some tea. It sounds basic.
But it's like the simple pleasures in life.
Yeah,
Just making a cup of latte or a cup of matcha and sitting on your couch for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
when you
and
drink
like
it, and just
enjoying it.
being fully present doing whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, so that is the collective 2020 forecast. It really is all about like connecting everything. And I'm actually really excited for what the year brings.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys are most excited about, like plans, goals, whatever it is, what you want to see on the channel, anything. It's funny because I'm about to head back to Australia, and going back, it's all about, I think I need to put on that anti-pollution.
And with that, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye-bye.